Joining us this morning. We're going to wait about 1 more minute for any late joiners, and then we will go ahead and get started. All right, we'll go ahead and get things kicked off here. Today we have a few different presentations. Danielle Fassler is joining us from EGCO, and she will be talking about the new audit program that she is conducting with some dealers. This was rescheduled from August. And then we have we have Emily and Jordan from our EGCO Direct team here to talk to us a little bit about 2025 planning and some things you should start thinking about, as 2025 will be here before we all know it. But before we jump in, I wanted to introduce somebody that's maybe a little new to some of you. Some of you may have met him before. Zach Rademacher is joining our webinar today. He is in a new position and will be doing a little bit of what Katie Town had been doing. So Zach, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your new position?
Yes, thank you. Again, I'm Zach Rademacher. I'm the brand marketing manager for Massey Ferguson. And now I will also be the manager for our co-op and dealer marketing, kind of taking on a lot of what Katie Town was doing for you all beforehand. We'll still have a lot of the same processes. We'll still, run everything through AGCO Direct and our co-op team in Heston. But I'm excited to kind of get into this role and help kind of improve our dealer marketing, as well as kind of tie it into more what we're doing with the brand, at that level as well. So you'll start seeing some more communications from me. You'll start seeing me on some of these meetings and things like that. But if you have any questions or anything for me, please feel free to reach out.
Awesome. We're excited for you and your new role, Zach, and excited to be working closely with you moving forward.
Yes,
Before I kick it over to Danielle, I did want to remind you all we do have a chat function on this. So if you have any questions, please feel free to enter your questions throughout in the chat area, and we will answer those either during the webinar or at the end of the webinar today. So with that, I will kick it over to Danielle, and she will talk about her audit process.
All right. Good morning. As Kara mentioned, I'm Danielle Fassler. I recently started with the rural lifestyle team, but kind of adjusting this role to cover rural lifestyle and high horsepower production ag. But I've been doing dealers' social media and website audits. It's a program that we started that will be going through and working with dealers individually to review their websites, both for customer experience and for SEO purposes, as well as their social media, and looking at engagement and how we can help drive that engagement up and drive some sales. So I'm going to go through a little bit of how that process and program works, just so everybody is aware and can be on the lookout for when we're able to start reaching out to more dealers. So, excuse me, as I mentioned, the intention of it is just to help increase our social media presence and our websites to identify areas where we can improve and enhance the efforts to draw in more customers and help the dealers reach compliance. So everybody has CMA goals. Being able to help you reach those CMA goals in each of the contracted areas is what our goal is to try and help make sure that you reach all of those through your efforts with your digital presence, social media, and your websites. So the way that the process goes is we start with a discovery call that includes the dealer, the account manager, the AGCO Direct account manager, and then myself from the Massey Ferguson marketing team. And then we'll also, once that discovery call happens, we'll go through and do an audit of the social media, an audit of the website with a crawler bot that kind of goes through and checks things that helps with our SEO. And then I do a manual audit as well for customer experience and seeing how the website is laid out and things like that, and the recommendations that we can find that way. And then I will work directly with the AGCO Direct team, with the account manager for that dealership. We'll review what we found in the audits and then compile a list of recommendations that we feel would be valuable for each dealer individually, based on what we find on their audits, to help them to grow that audience and increase their engagement that way. After we have that list compiled, we'll have a meeting with the dealer again and their AGCO account manager to go over the list of recommendations and then talk about implementation of any of those recommendations. And then we'll follow up with subsequent audits down the road to see how things are going with any changes that have been made. I will give the caveat that none of it is required. There's no cost of having me do the audit with the website or social media. The cost that comes to the dealer is only through the changes that they choose to implement based off of our recommendations. That could be with whoever manages your website. If you choose to add something through AGCO Direct that you're not currently doing, then there's a cost associated with that. Those costs are the only things that you're going to incur. There are recommendations as well that are going to be given to you that have no cost at all other than your time commitment. So, and it is a kind of an a la carte menu where you get to pick and choose if you want to pick 2 things to implement from the recommendations, all of them, none of them. It's entirely up to the dealer to implement them how they see fit. But our goal is to give you a list of recommendations that we feel could be helpful to you, to try and partner with you to increase your sales. So that is that program. If there's questions on it, or if there's a dealer that's really interested in it, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm working with the first round of dealers right now and going through and creating their letters here as we speak, pretty much. But if there's other dealers that are interested, reach out to your account manager or reach out to me directly. Happy to add you to the list to make sure that we can get you included. It does take a couple months by the time we go through the process of doing the initial call to the discovery, or with the discovery call, and then the audits and getting the letter and recommendations compiled. But we'd be happy to get more of you added to the list.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. If anybody has any questions for her, feel free to go ahead and put those in the chat, and then we can answer those at the end of today's presentation. Emily and Jordan, do you guys want to jump in and start talking about planning for 2025?
Absolutely. So I am Emily Barbles. I'm a senior account manager on the AGCO Direct team, been working here 3.5 years, and have a lot of knowledge on most of the dealer accounts in AGCO.
My name's Jordan Nelson, and I'm also an account manager here at AGCO Direct, and I've also been here about 3.5 years. Excited to walk through planning.
So something that we use as an approach, to marketing and what dealers should be consistently thinking about is the technical approach of making sure to use digital and traditional marketing based off of what your budget will allow. We always consider farmer first. So making sure that we are focusing on your guys's goals, what you guys are trying to accomplish, sales of equipment, but then also, those deeper connections with your clients, with your customers, and the general rule of 7. So making sure that you guys are utilizing all of the different types of marketing that you can. The rule of 7 just means that you can or should hit 7 different touch points, because that's how many it takes for somebody to really recognize your brand and make sure that they trust you. So using things like OTT, video, audio, native, meaning like papers, magazines, and then also your social media. So it does take those 7 different touch points to get somebody to notice your brand, know who you are, and then to trust you as well. So we're currently getting into a new, more digital savvy generation of farmers using more digital types of marketing. So again, OTT, more types of social media, making sure to hit those digital tactics, but also traditional media is still widely used and preferred avenue for deeper connections. So when you are in those local papers, placemats, making sure that you are still utilizing traditional in a way that is cost effective for you. That allows for a deeper connection. It shows that you're community oriented, And then also making sure to deliver meaningful messages across all networks to generate those leads that you need to further your business and sell that equipment. So the ACO direct planning process is this really breaks it down into super specific levels and steps. Mainly what we do as account managers is get to know you as a business. So we confirm your level of interest in what we call the MVP level, an MVP program, which we'll get into here shortly. But we also determine your opportunity by your PAR and product segmentation. So where can you push your sales? Where are your customers located? How we can utilize your entire PAR the best way possible, and also segment it by product. We review your website for content along with Danielle and the ACO team. We're also looking at your website, checking your UX, making sure the tracking and conversion opportunities are there, and that your website is really the go-to place for anybody that needs to know more information about you as a dealership, where you're located, what you sell, making sure that content is out there. We also then use that data to develop media recommendations. We'll use the co-op budget in your 2025 co-op budget to really focus on the tactics that we think can help drive business to your location, and then present that to the dealer. So we'll take that budget, split it up into tactics, both traditional and digital, depending on what that budget looks like, present it to you. And then if you're interested in moving forward or it fits into your marketing plan for the year, we'll then implement that, measure it, and optimize. So we make sure that we let you know how everything's doing. We make sure we give you metrics and get everything working for you so that we can help you do that while you can focus on selling the machines and creating those long-lasting relationships with your customers. So like I said, the MVP program is a marketing tactic plan where we can help you simplify your marketing planning. So it ensures that you have marketing coverage. It's basically a media plan throughout the entire year, or a strategy to make sure you utilize your entire budget, that you have marketing coverage throughout the year. You can maintain and manage your yearly budget and cash flow better because it will give you a monthly budget as well as to what you will be spending each month on different marketing tactics. It is completely customized for you as a dealership. We make sure that your goals are being met, exactly what you are trying to do, whether it's sales, service, parts. We can help with all different situations and make sure that your goals are being met. And then we do have options to fit all budgets. So if you have a very small budget, if you have a very large budget, it really doesn't matter to us. Our goal is to help you reach yours. So we can customize and make sure that we have budgets and media plans for every single size dealership. So like I said, it is flexible for all budgets. This is kind of just a broken down version and showing you how this works. So when you submit your own marketing for co-op, it is a 50-50 split the majority of the time. When you're submitting for ACO co-op, when you work with the ACO direct team, we have a 60-40 co-op split, just minimum 60-40. So anything that you do with us is at a 60-40 split. It's all co-op eligible. We work directly with AGCO to make sure that all standards are being met, and make sure that we also utilize every single tactic with whatever budget you have. So we show here the starter, standard, and pro options for the MVP program. The different tactics at the bottom: direct mail, social media, display, paid search. All of those things can be utilized in different packages to really hit those budgets. So the starter is what we consider $6,500 before co-op and $2,600 out of pocket for the dealer. Standard then hits that $13,000 before co-op budget, $5,200 out of pocket. And then when you get to the pro option, it really includes multiple different types of marketing. So digital, traditional, any way that we can help hit all of those different touch points, those 7 touch points that I talked about at the beginning. But it also requires a $27,000 co-op budget or more. and then you actually get a 70-30 co-op split from AGCO. So we submit again on behalf of the dealer for 70%, and you would only pay 30% out of pocket. So a $27,000 media plan in this instance would only be $8,100 out of pocket for your dealership. So we again have those budgets, flexible on these budgets. We don't lock anybody into any budgets either. So if it's something we need to adjust, pivot, change, we will do that, and we'll talk through that with the dealer at every time that we can. So quarterly we have meetings, we can have monthly meetings. It really just depends on the dealership and what you have available in your time, since we know your time is limited, and that's why we want to help you in the first place. Custom planning. So we do the MVP program, which is a much more organized program where we can utilize different tactics to hit those budgets. We also do custom planning. So we can do really anything that you guys are looking for from a marketing standpoint, we can do. So custom planning would be an input call to discuss with the dealership your objectives and brainstorm ideas. So we'll get on a call, a Teams call. Occasionally we can come out to the dealership too, depending on what your goals are and what you need or would like us to help you with. And then we would build out a plan or recommendation based off of your budget, your goals. Can do flexible timing. So if you aren't ready to do a full yearly budget, we can split that up into 6-month budgets. We can do quarterly plans too, to really just optimize that budget and kind of see how we're doing on a quarterly basis, and then go from there. We can add, we can remove, and then we review the plan together and adjust it as needed. So again, nothing's set in stone. We are constantly optimizing your media plans and making sure that what you want is really being shown to your customers. And then we plan and budget, or the plan and budget is approved by you. We then execute on our end. So we do monthly changes to your creative, monthly or quarterly, depending on your cadence, and then make sure that we execute on our end what we say that we're going to. So hitting those deadlines, making sure if you are working with publications, getting those pubs to the deadlines on time so that you are running in the publications that you want to, making sure we are hitting those creative changes. Like October 1st, we'll change your creative and make sure that that's all executed and in market when we say it's going to. And then we do help with co-op and billing. So if you work with us, we will submit all of your marketing that you do with us for co-op and submit all of that billing, give you a billing recap, and then you will only pay either the 40 or the 30% that is your out-of-pocket, and we will pay the upfront costs. So we try to help get all of that off of your plate so that you can really focus on those relationships with the customers, and we can focus on the paperwork and making sure that your marketing is out in market. Something to think about too, if you are working with a limited budget, the custom planning, sometimes gets to be those higher end budgets, those higher end marketing plans where it's a full year, but there are some times where budgeting is necessary. If you're working with a smaller budget, we just have some tips. So even if you don't have the capacity to work with us at this time, just some tips for those smaller limited budgets, making sure you're focusing on social media. Social media is becoming more and more prevalent. It's where a lot of the younger generation is doing their searching as well. So making sure that you are on social media, you are live on social media. So making sure you're constantly posting, not every day, but on a regular basis, so people know that your pages are live, you're a real business, and you're answering questions, comments, stuff like that. Doing the paid and organic. It's highly targeted, it's effective, it's affordable. It's a great way to use a limited budget. And then on top of that, if you have more budget, adding paid search to capture those researching. So 90% of people are just searching online for products in your area, or you trying to find AGCO equipment, Massey Ferguson equipment, Fendt equipment in your area, and paid search can help push those people to your page in your PAR. And then consider regional program opportunities. So can do regional sponsorship ideas, do regional print ideas. All of those things can be discussed with your AGCO Direct account manager to make sure that your budget is being spent the best way possible. And sometimes that is combining with another dealership or a regional opportunity to make sure that you are prevalent in the area, however, utilizing a much smaller budget. Being mindful of the buying cycles. So if you don't have the budget to run paid search throughout the entire year, shutting off those tactics during slow months and focusing on things like social media, where it is a much smaller budget that you can utilize at a much broader area. You can just make sure to cut those off in those times. If the summer you don't need to sell as much, that's a good time to shut those off. So the last thing is to just make sure to never go dark. So never make your page dark, never make your social media months at a time without posting. It does tend to deter people from going to your business because they don't think that you're an active company. So just utilizing any sort of opportunities that you can to post on social media as well. And then reporting and dashboards. So something that we offer all of our dealers is a dashboard. It is a live dashboard that we will give you a link to that you can look at every single day. So in the top right-hand corner, this is a media performance overview for an AGCO Direct dealer. And it is from this year. Again, you can see the time frame up at the top. You can narrow it, you can make it broader, so you can really see how your marketing is doing from the time that we launch it through the day of, like today. So we show you impressions, clicks, sessions, conversions, what those conversions are. You'll see how much you've been spending. You can look at an executive summary. We can do it by tactic. We can do it by product. So if you want to see how your Fent ads are doing as opposed to your Massey ads, or if you want to see how paid social is doing versus paid search, we can really show you exactly what's happening in real time with your marketing and how your money is being spent. So this then shows optimizations that we need to do in the left-hand side there. It's sessions by media type on your pie chart. So it shows you where all your sessions to your website are coming from, whether it's a Google responsive display ad that we've done for you, or organic searches, paid social, display, paid search. All of that is broken down and shows you really where your money is being well spent. And then you can also see those conversions again in a different way. So we show you multiple different types of graphs to explain really where everybody is going and what they are doing on your website. So on the right-hand side, it's the media performance, how the media is doing. And then the left-hand side is the website performance, what people are doing on your website and where they're coming from. So you can see the conversions are phone clicks, contact us forms, social outbound links, requesting a quote, and where those types of goals are being completed. So it is really important to us that we can show you our work and explain to you how it's working. And if it isn't, making those adjustments for your dealership so that your money is being spent in the best way possible. And moving on to Jordan and getting more into the specific programs that we offer at AGCO Direct.
Yeah, so I'm going to walk us through a few of our programs. Some are new and some you may have heard of before. Nonetheless, we're excited about all of them for going into this year. So the first one here is our organic social media program, also known as SMP. This program's been around for years, so I'm sure many of you are well aware of it, but we really recommend dealers use this in their social media to supplement part of the posts that they're putting out. We still want you to put out those localized posts, highlighting someone who just bought a piece of equipment, employee or community involvement. But these posts are great just to take a little bit off of your social media manager's plate, or if you're the one running the social media and running all the things, this is a great program for that as well. We have 8 different campaigns. 7 of them are different product lines. So like we have the Fent high horsepower, rural lifestyle, etc. And then we also have our special occasions one, which is like, they'll call out Christmas, Thanksgiving, National Dog Day, and some other fun ones like that. Something to note with this program too, we will send an email out every month kind of showing the content and the time of day and the day of the week that'll be posted. And if you see something that you're like, oh shoot, that's not really of interest, or I already have a post scheduled for that day, we of course can reschedule it or just remove the post entirely as well. This campaign or this program is really cost effective too, at only $50 a month after co-op per campaign. And then once you sign up for 3 campaigns, the rest are actually free. Content safaris. This is something we've actually revamped in the last couple of months, which we're really excited about. So content safaris, it's a fun name to essentially say, we'll come to your dealership and gather content, whether that's to use on your website, your social media, in flyers, or just to have really, we'll capture anything from customer testimonials, employee headshots, just footage around your dealership too. It's a lot of fun. It's really great to really tell your dealership story. These photos here from a content safari we did just on Thursday over at Lake Henry. And it just really shows that our team is fast and nimble. I think we had all the content to Lake Henry about 2 business days later. So we're a really scrappy, fast team that's excited to grab your content. And like it says here, content safaris are $800 after co-op. Keep in mind, if you're looking to get content at more than one location, or you're wanting to kind of beef it up and maybe grab more video or spend more time on it, that price might vary. Next here, we have the 2025 After Sales Marketing Program, also known as AMP. Some of you may have streamed into the AMP webinar where they did a really great deep dive on this program as well. Essentially, it's a turnkey marketing program that helps dealers promote key products and programs to their customers, ultimately driving increased retail sales. Some of the changes we're really excited about this year is a higher focus on e-commerce and really driving customers to purchase your parts. Of course, if you're not an e-commerce dealer, there are still options there as well. We have the standard and custom programs too. Something that I've heard our dealers really love about this program is how hands-free it is for them. So once you sign up, there's really nothing we need from you. Of course, we'll send you leads as they come in. We'll keep you posted on your campaign's results on your dashboard. But really, it's pretty time efficient for you and your team and really effective at grabbing those leads. Next, we have our website program. So we totally revamped our website program in the last few months. It's been a long process of really making all the tweaks and making it ready for you all, but we're really excited to launch it. Something to note about it is our new global local content for faster implementation and updates. This essentially means if there's an offer change in the backend, our team will make those changes to your website as soon as they go live. So that's something that your team doesn't need to manage. And any promotions will also update on your website as well. We've improved the UX and have a heavy focus on engagement and conversion. So if you're running paid media with us too, this will help and drive those leads through your form fills or for calling you guys or social outbound click links. We also have flexible add-ons that we'll kind of walk through here in a minute. And then it is also co-op eligible, of course. Now, this part I like to really show because it showcases how much customizability we have with these websites too. So if you decide to go on with the website with our team, we'll sit down with you and then someone from our web team and kind of chat through your different options, whether if you like to have an offer at the very front slider, whether you like to have multiple sliders or just a couple, and then also the imagery, the text, and the colors that you'd like to feature as well, which really makes it feel like a totally custom website, and we want it to match and feel like your dealership. Now here's a breakdown of our different packages. So we have the basic package, which is $2,400 after co-op, or the preferred package, which is $6,200 after co-op. You can see here that both designs are mobile first. So we know that a lot of your customers are going to view your website on their phone. So it's really important that it's still efficient and user-friendly when they are on their cellular devices. And then you can just kind of see here the different breakouts of what's included with each website. Something to note is that we do have a contract with Tractor House. So if you use them for your used equipment listings, that is something that can be integrated into our websites. With both websites here, there is a monthly fee of $70. This includes 2 hours of our team's time every month to make any updates. So whether you'd like to swap a photo, you want us to switch up your About Us section, anything like that, our team is really here to help and here to support you with the edits that you need. And like Emily mentioned earlier, you guys are all very busy and we're hoping to take something off your plate with these. We also have a monthly cost breakdown as well. So if you, instead of having that big lump sum right at the beginning when you sign up, you instead can also just pay monthly. For this, it would exclude the monthly maintenance fee. So you're really just paying that either $150 a month or $270 a month. Something to note is that you'll pay this monthly fee as long as the website is up and running. And then again, here we have those breakouts. Of course, you'll still have that mobile first design. It really doesn't change anything whether you do the monthly or the paid in full option. We also have some a la carte options, which we're really excited about. We have that payment calculator, request a quote, lead anywhere, all these different integrations that you can see, and these are all a one-time fee. And now we're going to jump through some dealer resources. I also want to note, if you have any questions on those programs, feel free to either drop them in the chat here or reach out to your AGCO Direct rep. If you're not sure who your AGCO Direct rep is as well, you can always email ads@agcodirect.com. Now we're going to jump into some of those dealer resources. I don't know if any of you have been on the new AGCO Direct portal. I know I really enjoy just the searchability and ease of use that we have on it now. While you're there, you can check out our marketing how-to section for great resources. We also have any like presentations like this one today, webinars and newsletters that are all great resources too. I really find that the AGCO Direct website is a really great like starting place. So if you're looking for a print ad or an image or something like that, just having somewhere to start is really beneficial. We also have our new campaign page at the front. So you'll see here right now we have red wheel deals featured, a great central place for anything timely and relevant for you to find right at the beginning. Of course, there's also the Parts e-store, and then we have that Parts e-commerce page as well. Another new feature that we've added in the last year is our Connect with AGCO Direct. So anytime you're on the portal, we do have a little chat box that you'll see, and you'll be connected with Emily, me, or another member of our team if you have any questions. A great place if you're having trouble finding resources on the portal, if you would like to kick off some marketing, don't know who your rep is, anything like that, we're always here and are always responding within just a couple minutes. So really here to help, and make sure to utilize that if you could ever use assistance while on the portal. That kind of wraps up where we're at for right now. I don't know if Kira, if you have any questions in the chat or anything.
We do, yeah. Thank you both for your presentation today. I'm just going to run through a few questions that have come up. If you guys do think of other questions while we're running through the ones that were already submitted, please feel free to go ahead and submit those over in the chat function, and we will answer those for you. Shang, thank you for all your comments. You did ask a question about if this is being recorded. It is being recorded. We will send out a recap email that will include a link to rewatch the full webinar if there's others within your dealership you'd like to share it with. It will also be linked out in our next newsletter, our next monthly newsletter. You also made a comment about it being an election year. It is an election year, as I'm sure we are all well aware. That I don't think will so much affect you all in 2025. We will probably see some impact of that as we start moving into the heavier time of the candidates promoting themselves. So now through probably the end of the election, we'll see where maybe our marketing is a little less effective. And that's just because they're, especially in those digital spaces and social media, And that's just because the candidates, especially the presidential candidates, usually have such a higher budget that they can outbid a lot of things. And because it's so top of mind for everybody, it just becomes really prevalent and everybody's interacting with it. And you guys know what a crazy cycle it's been. So, yes, that is a good comment to make. We do our best to try to help keep all of your guys' marketing as top of mind as possible. Unfortunately, we can't always compete with the large budgets that they have, but we do the best we can and we try to share all that information with you as we receive it. Don had a question on seeing which programs use which co-op funds and not knowing when it will be parts co-op or whole goods co-op. Don, the best way to think about that, and Jordan and Emily, feel free to jump in here as well. If you're including a parts logo and a parts call out talking about something that's directly related to parts, it will fall under that parts co-op. If you are promoting the Massey brand or the Fent brand, it will fall under that whole goods co-op. Now, there are ways that we can dual brand it. So if you are running low on parts or whole goods co-op, you can do a dual branding. Our team can definitely help you through that. We've done this for some other dealers as well. Just to help you best utilize those funds. But like we said, anything that is run through us, we'll make sure it's co-opted and work with you closely on which bucket to take that out of. If you are doing it on your own, you will need to submit it for pre-approval through the co-op team, and then the co-op team can advise you on if it will hit either parts or whole goods if you're unsure and wanting to do that co-branding. But if you have further questions on that, Don, please feel free to reach out directly to your AGCO Direct rep and they can help walk you through that. One other question that we received outside of the chat was for Danielle, and they were just wondering about how do they get an audit if they want to go through your audit process?
Absolutely. You can either reach out to me, you can reach out to your AGCO Direct account manager or your AGCO account manager that way, and they can reach out to me. But either way, whoever you want to reach out to, it all comes back to me. So letting me know what dealership it is that's interested, I can definitely get you added to the list and we can get a call scheduled for a discovery call with your account manager.
Awesome. Thank you. Jordan, Emily, can you guys touch a little bit on if a dealer would like to set up custom planning with our team, how they would go about doing that?
Yeah. If you could just reach out to either our ads at agcodirect.com, the chat box, really anyone here, just drop it in the chat and we can get something set up. Typically what we'll do is we'll schedule a Teams video meeting and we'll do a discovery call, chatting through your goals for the year, what marketing you've done in the past, anything that you already do in your community, and just get a handle of your goals and past marketing efforts. And then from there, our team will put together a media plan, which we'll share for your review and walk through as well. And then together we'll collaborate on what you'd like to move forward with, determine budgets and product focuses for the year.
Thank you.
I think the best way to get started on that is, again, to email that ads at agcodirect.com. And then we do filter that to your account manager. So it's the easiest way, if you don't know who your account manager is, to just get a hold of somebody. And then we, again, filter it to the account manager. They will reach out to you via email. If you don't get an answer, they will then give you a phone call too, to make sure that your needs are being met and that your questions are being answered. And then we just go from there.
Awesome. I'm not seeing any other questions come through in the chat. If you guys do have any other questions that you think of after today's webinar, please feel free to reach out to us and we will help get those answered. Thank you all again for attending our webinar today. We appreciate you taking the time. We know it's going to get busy here with planning, so feel free to reach out and let us know how we can best assist you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.